What's up, guys? You are watching FITEFEED, and today I'm going through an update to the pick tracker where we're going to go through the results from the UFC Nashville card that just happened this past Saturday. We're going to first take a deep dive into each creator, who they picked, who they got correct, who they got incorrect, who got the best score, and then I'll give you guys a deep dive into the current rankings for this pick tracker. Let's go ahead and dive in to the results from UFC Nashville. As I'm pulling that up on my side, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a like if you do. And if not already, please subscribe to FITEFEED so you could stay on top of updates like this one or for my upcoming picks on the UFC 318 card happening next Saturday. Let's go ahead and dive in, guys. So, as I mentioned, we're going to dive into the individual creators and performance from the UFC Nashville card specifically. Then we'll go through the rankings. So, just to give you guys the great news off the bat, FITEFEED, myself, had the most correct on this card. I did the best on the Nashville card, only by a slight margin. In some cases, only 1 or 2 picks I got right over others. I went 10-2 overall. Where I had all my correct picks, I had Lewis, Bonfim, Garcia, Morgan, Petrino, Curtis, Matthews, Moira, Davis, and Klein all winning in their respective fights. The only 2 that I got incorrect were Tafa and Kennedy and Jetchiku on this fight card. So that takes us down to our next creator. We got MMA Experts, who went 8-4 on this card. They had the incorrect ones that they had, or I'll just start with correct ones. The correct ones were Bonfim, Morgan, Petrino, Curtis, Moira, Davis, Walker, Klein. The incorrect were Chidi and Jokawani, Taf, Cater, and Teixeira. So 8-4 for MMA Experts. Now down to the next one. So unfortunately, the teller, he did very, very well. If you guys saw my first update in the last card, he only got 1 incorrect. This card, not so hot, but that's all right. This happens to a lot of us guys in MMA space, especially. For correct picks on this one, the teller had Bonfim, Garcia, Petrino, Curtis, Moira, Davis, and Klein. And then for incorrect, Teixeira, Landwehr, Tafa, Chidi, and Kennedy. 7-5 for the teller on that card. 8-4 on the next one. So this is Jake Gerber, 8-4. Correct picks were Bonfim, Morgan, Petrino, Curtis, Matthews, Moira, Davis, and Klein. Incorrect picks for Gerber were Teixeira, Cater, Tafa, and Kennedy and Jetchiku. The next creator, Bedtime MMA, we have a 7-5 overall for picks. Correct picks were Bonfim, Morgan, Petrino, Curtis, Moira, Davis, and Klein. And then incorrect, Bedtime had Kennedy, Chidi, Tafa, Cater, and Teixeira incorrect on this card. The next creator, we got MMA Guru, 9-3 on this card. Guru did very well, only I think he ended up coming in second place. So you have Guru's correct picks were Lewis, Bonfim, Garcia, Morgan, Curtis, Moira, Davis, Klein. Incorrect for MMA Guru. He had Chidi, Tafa, and Kennedy and Jetchiku. If you guys remember from my preview video, if you happen to see that, I did call out that Guru and I had these same picks minus the Chidi and Jokawani fight. I picked Jake Matthews, he picked Chidi, so fortunately for me, I saw the better end of that. But guys, honestly, although if I seem like I'm bragging, it's just because honestly the way that this shit goes with MMA picks is so ass backwards at times. So I feel like you just have to take those wins when you can get them. It could really happen to any of us where on any given card, you could go 50-50 for picks because of the fact that it's just sometimes a toss up. Now, next creator, LucasTracyMMA, 8-4 overall. Lucas Tracy, mixed bag of picks, but did pretty well even with that. Had Lewis, had Garcia, Morgan, Petrino, Tokos, Moira, Davis, and that's it. And then where he went wrong, he had Martinez, unfortunately. That was, I don't know why he did that one. But Kennedy, Chidi, and then Thompson. And actually, guys, the Thompson pick, there was some controversy in that fight. So this really could have gone the other way for Lucas and, the opposite for all of the rest of the creators. Finally, the last creator on this card, we have MMA Joey, who went 9-3. So him and Guru tied for second. Joey got Bonfim, Garcia, Petrino, Tokos, Curtis, Walker, Klein, all correct. And incorrect for MMA Joey were Teixeira, Landwehr, and Shidi and Jokawani. So that is the recap, guys, for just this card specifically. Now let's go ahead and dive in to a preview of the rankings. So what I pulled up here, we've got the updated rankings for the UFC Pick Tracker, which includes not only previous cards, but this just last card as well, totaling out all the fights, telling you who is in 1st through 7th place on this tracker. And luckily for myself, after the 10-2 performance from UFC Nashville, I have now edged out 1st place, probably only for this week, because as we know, guys, this shit is going to change all the fucking time. But I am currently in 1st place with 18 correct and 5 incorrect, 78% overall. And then looking at the rankings, we got a lot tied in 2nd place. We have MMA Fortune Teller, MMA Experts, Jake Gerber, and MMA Guru all tied for the 2nd place spot. 17 correct, 6 incorrect, 74% correct overall for each of them. And then looking at 3rd place, we got LucasTracyMMA and Hayjive Picks tied for 3rd place. Both 16 correct with 7 incorrect out of 23. And that is a 69, basically a 70% correct overall. And then 4th place, we got MMA Joey coming in with a 15 and 8 out of 23 with a 65.22%. Bedtime MMA coming in at 5th place and he has 14 correct, 9 incorrect, 61% overall. And then unfortunately, Kenny Okoye and the Weasle, after doing another quick check on their channels, doesn't look like either of them ever made picks for this card. So you're going to see that both of them only have a total fights of 11. And guys, what I've decided to do in this tracker, instead of previously I'd said if creators 3 times they don't make picks, then they'll just be they just lose. What I'm just going to do is anytime that there's a creator who doesn't have a set prediction video out prior to the card, they're just going to have to I don't know what to do, guys. Honestly, the way I've done it though is they're no longer going to be in the running for the current rankings. I feel like what'll happen is they're just going to be ranked based on how many fights they have. So for instance, the Weasle and Kenny both happen to skip this card, so they only have a total of 11 fights. And so they basically will just fall below everybody else and be ranked amongst them. So right now we have Kenny in 6th place and then the Weasle in 7th place. Now, should they continue on with more fights and catch up, and maybe at some point we could have this even out, but I cannot look at their percentage and have them in that normal running. They've got to fall below everybody else, because the way I see it, we are actually at a risk continuously making picks for other cards. And then Kenny shouldn't have a higher rate than us based on the fact that he only has 11 fights, whereas the rest of us are 23. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts on how that should be handled, but I'm not going to get rid of them because I want to keep them in here, and I want to make sure I can also just see, I'm a fan. I watch their content as well. So I just want to see where they're at in terms of their picks when they actually are making those prediction videos. But this is the current status of our rankings, guys. We're going to have to just see where things edge out. This is a fun process for me because it really makes it more competitive, makes me want to make sure I'm doing that research to give those good picks. And then also hoping it's helpful for you guys. I know I'm not a gambler anymore, but if you guys are enjoying this, and I hope that this is in some way informative for you. Obviously, I want you guys to always remember that really, obviously gambling in general is very risky, but gambling in MMA is particularly risky because anything can happen in that octagon. It's not a team sport. You got a one person versus one person type of deal. And if some shit goes awry, sometimes your big favorite doesn't win, right? Or sometimes that big underdog ends up clipping and getting that win. So just keep that in mind when you're making these bets. Anything that I ever post is not a guarantee, right? I've tried to bring as much logic to it as possible, but sometimes logic defies MMA math. Or MMA math defies logic, I guess I should say. But overall, I hope this is helpful for you guys. I am excited to see where things continue to net out in this tracker. Right now, I'm in first place, so I'm just gonna, to the winner, the spoils go, as they say. I'm just gonna enjoy that for now, we'll see what happens coming out of next week's card. Very exciting, pay-per-view card we got coming up, and then we got Abu Dhabi. So a lot of fun fights that are in the mix here. Very excited to see where things go. Thank you guys so much again for watching. Make sure to give this a like if you enjoyed. Comment below if there's any picks that shocked you, and comment below if you have any thoughts on how we continue to track this. I truly appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next one.